Hey y'all, IRIX Guy here, and this is a live show. If you're watching this at approximately 5:08 p.m. New York City time, that's right, that's that city on the northeastern coast of the United States of America. A big city with a bunch of good pizza and everything you would want, just in a short walk. Just get out of your apartment, get out of your taxi, get out of your subway, get out of your Rolls Royce, and just go out. That's New York City. So, yep. If you're watching this live, again, if you're watching it at approximately 5:09 p.m. New York City time, this is a live show. Open for everything. You can post a comment, a question, and since this is a live show, I have the opportunity to respond to as many comments and questions as possible face on video. So, yeah, good stuff to kick off this show. What are you hoping for most from DJI's announcement tomorrow? Well, DJI Spark. It better have 4K. It better be able to handle the wind. And it better come in at or around $500. So, what are you hoping for? Now, for all my viewers out there that aren't drone aficionados, DJI is arguably the best drone manufacturer on the planet today, on the planet Earth at least. So it's just a really, they develop a cool product. Now, you know, I'm not saying they're perfect, but I like their product, and I like to field test it and talk about the good and the bad and everything. I mean, there's no reason to sugarcoat anything when it comes to talking about a drone, because if you do, you're just a fool. And your Spark is not Wi-Fi transmitted. You know, that's a great question. I'm hoping that with the Spark, they introduce a technology as good or better than the DJI Lightbridge. And if you're not familiar with Lightbridge, it's a technology where it's a lot better than Wi-Fi, basically, from a non-technical perspective. It's a better communications technology. Now, obviously, to be responsible and safe, most pilots would fly a line of sight to be safe, responsible, and legal. In a lot of areas, a lot of countries throughout this planet, there are regulations in place that prohibit one from flying without using their naked eye. I feel they can include OcuSync, but limit the range. Yeah, give us a better angle. We're looking towards the sky. Well, I'm looking towards the sky too, and that's kind of the theme of this live show. It's 34 million video views. That's right, IRIX Guy's Adventure channel that you're watching right now. YouTube.com/IRIX Guy. It's achieved 34 million video views. Now, that's not a big number. There's a lot of channels out there that are absolutely enormous. But, you know, with my first mini milestone being 1 billion with a B, as in Bravo, video views, I feel that the 34 million with an M, as in Mercury, is an acceptable first step forward. So, you know, I attribute a lot of this to the drone videos, which, like we were chatting about a moment ago, DJI's announcement tomorrow. Bring us a new drone, bring us something cool, you know. Bring something out that IRIX Guy can take out in the field and obsess over, and share the lessons learned with the entire universe, rather. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. So yeah, let's continue this walk. You notice I'm walking for the live show because if you don't walk, you get fat. Well, that's probably politically incorrect to say, but I'm not a politically correct person. I just tell you how it is. So, what are your favorite kind of videos to do? You might be able to do on the field size depending upon the size. Thoughts on DJI's goggles? Well, DJI's goggles look really cool. I haven't picked them up yet, but the reason I haven't is that in most countries where I fly, it would likely be against the law for me to use the goggles, because if I'm the pilot, the remote pilot in command, the person with the controller in my hand, then I would be unable to maintain constant, unaided visual line of sight because I got goggles on my face. So, now I'm no longer line of sight flying that drone. So it would be illegal for me to be the remote pilot in command in most countries and use goggles. With that said, what I could possibly do is have someone else fly the drone and then I watch through the goggles. But that's kind of cheesy because, wouldn't one want to be in the virtual cockpit when they're using the goggles? And sure, this isn't applicable to all countries throughout the world, but, I don't know. If I'm out in the middle of the ocean on my boat and there's nothing around and, I'm in international waters, this, that, and the other, at that point in time, yeah, it's acceptable. I can bust out my goggles and fly without maintaining visual line of sight. But when I'm in many countries throughout the world, it's likely against the law, and I don't want to explore potential gray areas because that's just bad for the hobby as a whole. And I don't mean that in a bad way. The goggles look cool, but I just wish that all of this enhanced regulation internationally would just tone down a little bit. Come on. Let us hobbyists be free. Let us have fun. I mean, obviously, be safe and be responsible and be aware of where you're flying. But let us have some fun, come on. So yeah, lots of good stuff. Burning calories and doing the walk thing. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. So DJI, who thinks DJI Spark is going to be the announcement tomorrow? Who thinks that? Or who thinks it's going to be something else radically different? And what radically different thing do you think it may be? What's your thoughts on the FAA drone registration being struck down by Supreme Court of Appeals? When it comes to politics in certain countries, I don't really like to vocalize. I will vocalize my opinion generically and just say that, to summarize, I think that governments throughout the world are working to destroy this hobby. And I wouldn't say, well, the governments, all they are, they're the final say-so. They're the legal authority to say one can or cannot do this. But personally, I blame the media, because the media are responsible for picking up Joe Doe, John Doe, or Jane Doe, film them, or stage a situation where they're using a drone irresponsibly, blast it out throughout the media, and then you've got the irresponsible drone use that's highly visible. The media pick that up. Then all these other idiots see it, and then they try to reproduce what they saw. And then the governing bodies throughout the world, they come in and they say, hey, we better make that illegal. We don't want to take the time to try to fix it and provide a reasonable solution for a potential problem. Think about it. Drinking laws vary throughout the world. The legal limit is often different throughout the world. So when it comes down to it, one just needs to be responsible and be like, well, hey, I had a lot of rum, or I had a lot of beer. I don't need to drive or do anything else that's dangerous. It's common sense. That doesn't mean that alcohol should be banned worldwide. Don't ban drones, without getting into political conversation here. It's just ridiculous. So the way that I feel about this is that I'm going to continue to enjoy the hobby as long as legally allowed. And, I travel throughout the world, so, If it becomes banned in one country, then I'll just go to another country and enjoy the hobby. But there will possibly come a point in time where that seems like a lot of effort just to fly a little radio controlled aircraft. So, think about it. What do y'all think? I mean, without getting into politics, what do y'all think drones are going to be? Which problems do y'all think are going to plague drones within the next year, within the next 2 years, maybe even within the next 6 months? Christmas is coming around. Inevitably, there's going to be a lot of people wanting drones under their tree, especially with more drones to choose from. And, when there's greater supply of anything, price often drops. So a hobby that was once financially inaccessible for the masses, now because of more products, more manufacturers, and older models of those drones, it's now able to be afforded by more people. So, anytime you get more people, looking at it from the government's perspective, it's like, well, we've got something that initially was cost prohibitive for most. And it was. I mean, when I bought my first DJI Phantom 1, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm spending this much money for something that goes up in the sky and I may never see again. More importantly, it may break. It's like, this is stupid. But, once I started that drone hobby, I got addicted. And, you can watch my thousands of videos and see for yourself. I mean, very addictive hobby. But look at it from the government's perspective. When these prices drop, when the next holiday rolls around, you got more people that are inevitably going to be getting drones because they're more affordable. And anytime you got more people, you've got a larger quantity of responsible people, and you've got a larger quantity of irresponsible people. So it's a scary time for hobbyists, because we're just now on the cusp of something great. I mean, we've seen these drones evolve from basically a toy to something that can carry a serious 4K ultra high definition camera. But enhanced regulation could put the continued evolution of drones in jeopardy. Now, one thing to keep in mind, unless they change this, a lot of countries have, if you read their drone laws, a lot of countries they've stipulated weight, a minimum weight and a maximum weight. Well, what if something like, say, the DJI Spark comes out and it falls underneath that minimum weight? Maybe it'll be something that can be enjoyed without all the fear of, man, I don't need to use this because I may get arrested. It sounds ridiculous, but what's going to make it or break it for you with the Spark besides the camera? Well, so number one, for the Spark, obviously you know me well because you know that the camera means everything. I mean, I've got to get at least 4K 30, and it's got to be gimbal stabilized. That's requirement number one for me, just because I'm a hobbyist. I love video. So beyond that, it would be the ability to withstand a mild amount of wind. If you've flown the Phantom and you've flown the DJI Mavic Pro, you probably discovered that even though the Mavic Pro is a solid performer, the Mavic Pro lacks the ability to withstand wind as well as a DJI Phantom platform. And a lot of that is due to the weight. So the Spark needs to have the ability to handle wind well enough, number one, to be able to safely fly and return in a mild amount of wind, but ultimately be able to safely fly and return within a mild amount of wind while capturing silky smooth video like one has been spoiled by with the Phantom platform. So, it's kind of like asking for something semi-impossible, because it's like, I want it smaller, I want it better. Well, oh, thanks, Joseph. 34 million, man. See you at 1 billion and beyond. This is just one of the first micro legs up. But yeah, I mean, that, and then obviously, I fly line of sight to be safe and responsible. But with that said, what if I'm flying over international waters and I'm in the middle of nowhere? I'd like to have range. In that scenario, I'd like to be able to take it further than a few hundred feet away from me. So, range would be nice. Not that I'm going to abuse that feature when I'm in countries where visual line of sight is a requirement. But if I'm out over international waters, let me reach out and touch that range, and see how far it can go. No reception. Okay, reception's coming back. I think, I kind of hit a dead spot, but I should be recovering here. Sorry for the glitchiness. And something I wanted to add with this show, even though it's a live show now, if you're watching it at approximately 5:24 p.m. New York, after this live show concludes, you can watch the previously recorded version, and it may not have the intermittent stutters due to the poor cellular network. But those are my primary requirements for the Spark. And beyond that, obviously the price. It's got to come in. It should come in below $500. But worst case, I couldn't see seriously considering the Spark for more than $550. I mean, that would just be when you can get a Mavic Pro below $1,000. I mean, why would one want to spend over $500 for something that's smaller and likely won't perform as well as the Mavic Pro? With that said, if this Spark comes in at a certain weight, it would it may fall underneath, or below rather, the minimum weight requirements that many countries have in place for drone use. So that could be an advantage. As far as racing drones are concerned, I don't know if they're going to announce that or not. I think it's and I may be grossly inaccurate with this statement, but I don't think the racing drone thing is really going to be that popular over the long haul. I may be wrong. Maybe it's the drone video and drone photography that's not going to be that popular over the long haul. I don't know. But, for that reason, I don't know. But I mean, maybe I would check out a racing drone. Maybe that would be if DJI does release a racing drone, maybe that's something that I'll explore here on Irish Guys Adventure Channel, because it could be a new topic. While you're hiking, why don't you get some follow me videos? Well, I guess I can. I like to just kind of walk like this. It's weird. Weird, dude, weird. So yeah, we're 18 minutes into this live show. Cell provider will probably cap my data before I know it. They're like, dude, you're streaming, man. You're wasting our precious bandwidth. No, I'm not. So yeah, we're just gonna keep on walking here. I'm burning calories and talking drones. And where is Sean Coonery? Sean Coonery is in the New York studio. He has some personal appointments, and he is consulting with his business partners, and he is consulting regarding a new video. So stay tuned for a new Sean Coonery, the Big Maine Coon Cat video soon. But yeah, I mean, Sean Coonery is just one of the many exciting elements here on Irish Guys Adventure Channel. And he wanted to say, even though he's not here, he's texted me on my, he just texted me on my Apple Watch. He said, hey, tell this for me. And this is Sean Coonery. He's typing again. For the fans, I appreciate your viewership. Y'all have a perfect day. That's what Sean Coonery said. So he's always in constant contact. He is arguably the most famous big Maine Coon cat in the universe. So, with that said, he's got a lot of videos coming, but don't worry about that. I mean, I know we've got a huge audience here. We've got Sean Coonery addicts. We've got drone aficionados. We've got travel junkies. We've got looking at Google Analytics. And if you're not familiar with Google Analytics, if you run a YouTube channel, it's incredible when you release content and then you look at the analytics, you can see like countries where the views are coming from. Obviously it's nothing private, it's just like public information that Google collects, but you can see like countries people are from, gender, male or female, age group, just a lot of cool stuff. So it's, that's the other fascinating aspect of this channel. Back to the 34 million video views celebration. One of the big things of excitement is just watching it grow, but learning what all of these metrics mean and continuing to incubate the channel. So yeah, again, 34 million views is just a small leg up, but it's a signal of growth. Let's see, we got more comments coming in here. Yeah, I'm in a park. It says, Ribbit, how about I subbed when I came across a Sean Connery video. Very cool. And just out of curiosity, if you don't mind me asking, how did you stumble upon Sean Connery? Were you doing a Google search? Were you searching YouTube for cat videos? What exactly did you do to find it? What are your thoughts on DJI having 3 major drone lines and how those technologies, sorry, my chat messages disappear, might cross over Phantom, Mavic, Spark, and how releasing them might overlap and outdate each other sooner? Well, here's my professional opinion. So, thank you. Congratulations, brother. Love your videos. Thank you. 2 thumbs up. I was watching a Dr. Norb cat video and Sean Connery was in the recommended. Cool. Very cool. Cross-pollination. Cross-pollination is a way where multiple YouTube content creators encourage others to view content on another channel. So if you're watching a Sean Connery video on my channel, it may say, hey, check out George Clooney's video. It may cross promote that. So thank you. Thanks for all the congrats. But yeah, talking about the excuse me, all the drone lines crossing over, and my opinion with that is that obviously DJI Phantom was the original. DJI continued to further enhance the performance of the DJI Phantom. Phantom 1, no gimbal. You had a GoPro. Then you had a GoPro with a gimbal. Then they said, you know what? We're too cool for a third-party camera. We're going to disallow that, and we're going to create our own camera. But not only are we going to create our own camera, we're going to make our camera better than a GoPro. No fisheye. They've evolved. But then they said, we've got to innovate more. We got to get something new and unexpected. They released the Inspire. And the Inspire was too big. It was too heavy. Ooh, had to burp. Sorry about that. That was rude. So, yeah. So they released the Inspire, and it was too big. It was too heavy. And 3 things going to happen here: UFO sighting, bear chasing you, or Bigfoot. Hey, I like option 3. So, yeah, so Inspire was too big and too heavy. Some people like it. And great, funny job with the Maine Coon videos. Thank y'all. So yeah, they released then they released the Mavic, and they said, well, we listened to our fans. Many people shared my opinion. We need something smaller. We need something more lightweight. We don't want to go bigger. We don't care about an Inspire. It's too big. It's too heavy. So they released the Mavic Pro. The Mavic Pro is generation 1. So tomorrow's announcement, it wouldn't surprise me if they didn't release maybe a Mavic Pro refresh. Something a little more refined, something with a 4K 60 camera that wouldn't surprise me. Just kind of a minor update to the Mavic Pro original. So that would be plausible. I don't think the multiple drone lines are going to kill each other, because you've got Matrice, which is out there for your agricultural people, you know, that sort of application. You've got Inspire for people with bottomless budgets that want to put that really fancy camera up in the air and risk thousands of dollars as they capture footage. But they're probably not, it's probably owned by a company, so if it crashes, they probably don't care anyway. So you got that camp. Then you got your DJI Phantom person. They're like, man, Phantom is the best drone. That would be me. I think it is. It's proven. It's reliable. It continues to get better. Then you've got people like me that want something smaller, more lightweight, but still capable. The Mavic Pro. I like the Mavic Pro, but it's not in its, you know, it's its version 1. So I want to see what it becomes. So, you know, for that reason, I'm not all in with the Mavic Pro right now. And then you've got Spark, something that would be the ultra small, ultra portable. So I don't, from my perspective, I don't think any of the drone lines destroy the other. I think that DJI, I think they're brilliant marketers. They give people just enough with the next release of the drone to make people want to buy more when they may not even need to. So I don't know, tomorrow's gonna be an interesting day. We will see what they pull out of the hat, but it'll all be here on Our Skies Adventure channel and 400orbelow.com. So bookmark 400orbelow.com if you haven't already, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, for sure. So yeah, I hope that answered that question. So now let's go find Bigfoot. If he's back here, let's see. We'll find out. How many here believe in Bigfoot? Because you know he's got to be here somewhere. Here we go. One thing about the Yeti is that you can't, you never know where he's going to show up. He may be under this bridge up here. Let's see. Let's see if we can find Bigfoot. Never hurts to try, does it? Nope. What do you think? Maine Coon cat? Yeah, we will see a Maine Coon cat here very soon. Let's find the Yeti first. Is he down there? Yeah. Oh, there's all kinds of foliage. There's a nail. Maybe the Yeti was hanging his clothes to dry. Maybe the Yeti is just some dude in a furry suit, and it's not an animal at all. Maybe the Yeti was eating this plant. Who knows? But one thing is for sure, the Yeti is nothing to mess with. It's really not. Check this out. I think I see Yeti evidence. See that tree? Yetis are very tall and they like to stack trees. See how that looks unnaturally fallen? That tree didn't fall like that. I think it's the Yeti that put it there. What do y'all think? Look at that. Pretty freaky. Very freaky, actually, but I was filming people play frisbee golf with a Phantom 3 4K. It was a bit spooky. Got some cool stuff, man. Just watch out. You get those trolls, you know, you're filming them from a safe distance, and they'll try to blow up and be like, man, I'm afraid of drones. Dude, those things are dangerous, man. I mean, obviously don't fly over them, but if you're at a safe distance in your own on your own property, who cares, you know? Safe distance, safe altitude, legal place to fly, you know. I don't know. It's just crazy. It's crazy to think about all this, but yeah. And now it's approximately 4:40. 4:40. Wait, no, it's 5:40. 5:40. 5:40 New York time. Very interesting. Okay, well, I got a lot of requests for Sean Coonery, so stay tuned. And yeah, tomorrow's gonna be a big day. Stay tuned for all the latest news here and 400orbelow.com. And also, stay tuned to the Irish Guys Adventure channel for more Sean Coonery, the big Maine Coon cat. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. YouTube.com/IrixGuy. Y'all have